Your next step is to ensure that you can play chords within your left hand. Now, a chord has 3 notes in at the same time, and to work out the notes of a chord, all you have to do is this. If somebody says play a C chord, you must play the C note. That's the most important note within the chord. But as I've just said, a chord has 3 notes within it. So this is how you work out the notes for a C chord. First, you have your finger on a C. You then miss out the next note. If we were to play that note next to it, you'd get this sound, which is really unpleasant. That's why we miss it out. But you do play the next one to it. You then miss the next note and you play the next one to it. And when you're playing a chord, you don't play them one after another. You play all of the notes at the same time. So that means you've got to push your whole hand down at the same time. To work out a chord of G, you do exactly the same thing, but because it's a chord of G, you must have a G note. Here's our G note here. And then you do exactly the same thing. You miss the note next to it, play the next note, miss the next note, play the next note. And you play all of those 3 notes at the same time. That's our G chord. Now, on your music, you should be able to see you've got capital letters. Capital C, capital G. Those capital letters indicate that you should play a specific type of chord at that point in the music. So if you see a capital C, you must play the notes of the C chord. C, E and G. If you see a capital G, you must play the notes of the G chord, which is G, B and D, all at the same time. Notice how those notes are written on top of the melody. Because our capital C is on top of the E melody note, that means you've got to play the C chord at exactly the same time as your melody E note. The chords must be in your left hand, the melody in your right hand. This is how the melody sounds with the chords. Notice how my performance is absolutely perfectly fluent. That's because I've had to practice this piece, but it's essential that we sound as fluent as possible. I do not want to hear performances that sound like this. Just sounds really ropey, but it does mean you've got to make sure you're focused in your practice to successfully play a fluent performance. Here it is one more time.